Who likes to do outdoor activities like hiking and backpacking?
Who takes their phone with them?
Does anyone ever worry about dropping their phone when they're doing these activities?
Has anyone ever thought about having a device that allows you to attach your phone, let go of your phone, and not worry about dropping it? Still use it if you need to. Okay.
Thank you for coming this morning. We're Dan and Judy. We're going to show you the Twistek.
So Twistek is a hands-free way to wear, use, protect your phone, be able to access your phone. So it allows you to clip it to a backpack or a strap. It allows you to let go of your phone and continue to use your phone. So if you have downloaded maps on an app, you can quickly access those maps.
Flip it, that's backwards. There you go.
Or say you have an app that lets you know when severe weather is coming, you can access those maps and those apps pretty easily. It also allows you to use your phone as a body camera. So when you are hiking on a cliff or walking around, you can just put the video camera on and use it as your camera, as other little cameras that are out there, but actually we use our phone. And it also allows you to take pictures. A lot of times you're on the trail, you want to take pictures. And the ability to just kind of rotate your phone where you want to rotate your phone. Put it on an uneven surface. Hang it from a tree if you want to. And, of course, take your phone off if you want to as well. So there are a lot of different groups of people that we feel could benefit from the use of Twistek. People that want to be able to let go of their phone, continue to use their phone, use their hands when their hands are busy to do something else, such as fishermen. There's a couple examples on there, and there's some numbers of those individuals. People like dog parkers, cyclists, people that hang from large buildings, contractors that are maybe on a roof, need to check their phone, they don't want to drop it 12 stories. But one group of people individually, or more importantly, that we have a passion for are those with disabilities. Now, there are 54 million people with disabilities in just in the United States. Roughly 13 million of those actually have a limited hand use. There are 2 million amputees in the United States alone. And every year, about 185,000 amputations occur in the United States. And that's just the lower extremity amputations. That doesn't include the upper extremity. So when we first started, we thought, this is a benefit for those with limited hand use, because they, they've got one arm and they need to access their phone, they don't want to drop it. But we realized that it's for the lower extremities as well, because they're using their hands to do something else, to help them learn how to walk, say right after the surgery. And we learned this, we went to an amputee support group, and we learned that they really need something that allows them to attach their phone to a strap, a backpack, a belt, so they can keep their phone on them, especially when they're starting to learn to walk again. And that also has a correlation with those that have a stroke. So every 40 seconds, someone in America has a stroke. So since we've started this about 4 minutes ago, at least 4 or 5 people in the US have had a stroke. So our market opportunity kind of, wait. Okay, so I gotta tell you this really quick. So this has been like a journey for us. As in any entrepreneurial journey, there's always these like up and downs, right? Y'all don't know about that? Okay. There's always these crazy times when you're like, this is crazy, what am I doing? This money, this time, I'm done with this. And Dan has always been like this, seriously, like this, go, 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 go. He like never like just kind of like gets emotional about it like I do. So we got to this point where we were like, we're just done. This is crazy. We just have way too much to learn. And I got frustrated, and he actually looked at me and said, yeah, I think you're right. I think we're done. And
I said you were right.
Well, maybe not that part. And to make it worse, the water went out in our house, so we have no water. We're just like totally bummed out. We're on our way to the hardware store, and I'll let Dan tell you a story about that.
I probably did say she was right. It was a low point. So anyway, the water was out in our house, And we were in the parking lot of this hardware store, and I said, we're done. So I walked into the hardware store and got the plumbing fitting I needed. I went up to the counter, and when I got to the counter, there was a young man there. He was 17 years old, and he had an iPhone 5 in his left hand, and he had no right arm. And so at that point, I kind of knew that this product would help that group of people. So I didn't really say anything to him right then. I was just sort of really taken by that. So I started walking out, and I stopped myself, and I turned around and went back, and I described the product to him and asked him if he thought he could use it. And he said he would. He clipped it to his backpack. So we became friends, and he's in our he's actually right there. His name's Asa.
So that was a real turning point for us, realizing that there is a need in the market. There's a need that we can fulfill. We are initially starting, however, in the initial target market is those that are backpackers or campers. But including all those things that we previously talked about, all those possible segments, we have a market opportunity of about $6 billion at a target price point of $75. Now, initially backpackers. So there's 40 million hikers in the U.S., and narrowing that down to the 10 million backpackers, and about 93% of them take their phone with them. So that's kind of surprising to me, and this is growing more and more as the cell phones, as smartphones, we use them for everything. So that gives us about 9.3 million backpackers that actually use their smartphone on the trail. So what's out there? Yeah, there's other products out there, other phone holders, clips, straps around your arm, and pouches, but they do not have the versatility and the usability that our phone has. Just being able to use it in many different ways, how you want to use it. Now, from the initial, or from the last prototype, actually, we have changed, because this is just for the iPhone 5, and as you know, technology changes so quickly, and we need to change with it, that we are working with an engineer to actually adapt it to more than one phone. So this piece right here is what would actually attach to your phone or to your case. Say you have a beloved case that you want to keep. We understand. So you can take this piece, put it on the back of that case, clip it on our base, and this base is currently being revised so that it can accept many different sizes of phones. We're excited about this part.
So Terry, that was the big announcement. I don't see Terry out there. There he is. He wanted to accommodate his joy. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. So actually, our team, we're still in the process of building our team. We do not have prior startup experience, so we are looking for somebody that can join us, a senior manager that can help us as we move forward with our project. Of course, Dan and I, and John Studemir is our IP consultant, patent protection, and Chris is SEO and online marketing. So our asks of you all, if you know anyone that's interested in joining our team, if you let us know, we'll be glad to talk to you. We'd like your feedback or interest on our price point. This is something that we're still working with. And of course, share our product via Facebook or on our website. There is a email sign up that you can sign up to. We'll say, hey, we're about to launch, or if you know somebody that could benefit from our product, you can share it with them. That'd be really awesome. And there's our contact information. And so we'd like to know what y'all think. And we're here listening for y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great questions.
How can you can't do it on the Facebook Live. Do you have any patents, or what's unique as far as your ability to differentiate and not get taken over by a competitor, or even Apple that comes out with something that attaches directly to their phone?
Absolutely, we do. We do have 2 full allowed patents on the utility of attachability, movability, and the clips. The clips in the back are designed to, hold that again. There's 2 clips that allow you to clip it really tight on anything from a thin belt to a thicker strap. So we have a patent, 2 patents that kind of cover the whole utility of the invention. And we have 2 pending actually as well.
And we also have a very smart IP consultant that has taught us it's not about fighting what happens out there when we get copied, when it happens. It's about working with them.
You think your sales price is about $75? What's your cost to do it? If it costs you $100, you can't make up for it in volume.
Actually, at this time, our price is changing because we are changing the flexibility of the base. Our initial object is to 3D print these, and the 3D printing just initially to get them into the hands of users is about $80. So we'll lose a little bit on 3D printing, but that won't last very long because once we go to the molding and the injection molding process, it'll drop our price pretty considerably.
That was a good answer.
I was going to say, who do you need to meet do you want to meet veterans that are amputees, or is there some type of organization that we can help connect you with that would provide a good feedback, a board or something like that, or maybe even, a president or CEO?
Thank you. We love to meet veterans. I'm actually a veteran. And as we've tried to get into like the VA hospitals and other hospitals, they're very protective of their patients and their people. So we have an unproven product. They want to see statistics of proven reliability and issues of how much it helped. And so here, you help with that.
So yeah, if we would love contact information on how to get this into the hands of the disabled, that's a definite yes. Even though we are still in the testing process of the product, to get somebody that is willing to use it, especially in amputee or since we are focusing on the backpacker market, we'd like to get active people that have a challenge to use our product.
What about like EMS or fire and police, something like that? Then you get in there, you kind of give it out for free, or have them use it, and then you end up with a contract. And
well, that'd be awesome as well. Yeah, we do hear different areas of people that could use it, such as like you said, a firefighter, and actually his long range shooter he was a policeman actually. He was excited. He's like, yeah, I really like that. One thing we've learned at Groundwork Labs is, and we're in there, we actually have like just a few more days and we're done.
Phenomenal program.
Yeah, it's really awesome if you need that, which we did, is the focusability of us being able to focus on our target market, which is backpackers and the disabled. So we can find these other people, but I don't want to be, what's the word I'm looking for?
Distracted.
Yeah. But we are finding more uses, so definitely. Yeah.
It's kind of an affordability issue. So it's just about money, and we would love to give some away. We've been advised by professionals to give one to policemen or several policemen, as well as firemen or the disabled community. And we actually sold 8 Twisteks last week from our church, people in our church that have watched us go through this for the last 3 years, and they paid us $100 each to buy it. And other people were telling me, hey, I'm going to send you some money when we were at church. So I was like, thank you. And so if we can get something like that going, we can give them away. We want to just give them away to the disabled people. And then if we had venture money or angel money, we would probably give them away to police officers and other evangelistic people that would propagate the Twistek.
Yeah, so Dan and Judi, first of all, thanks for not giving up. I think it's an idea that has promise. A couple of things to think about is on September the 21st in Cary, there's a day-long product showcase called Bunker Labs Muster, and it's an all-veterans organization. Some people are disabled vets, some people are just folks that help disabled vets. It's sponsored by not only MedLife, but Bunker Labs RDU, which is located in this building, and Entradop also that's located in this building, and so other organizations. So connecting you up with that, I think, would help the product a good bit. So I'd be glad to talk to you guys. I've sent you an email.
That sounds awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. And we plan to get more connected and stay connected because when we were living in the mountains, we've been living here in Durham all summer, so we've been here a couple months, and we've learned how to get back and forth a lot quicker. So when we move back home, we plan on staying connected here and keeping the momentum going. Thank you, Terry.
Have you paid attention at all to like the buy one get one kind of model, like Tom Shoes, and there are sock companies out there that are buy one give one, rather, where somebody buys and then you give it if you're planning on donating anyway. Then raise the price on the front end and have that be part of it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
You know, it would seem logical that this sort of thing, in order for you to hit all these different, what I'll call verticals, and you have all these niche verticals, this is not a mass market product. I think the cheapest way is to find a champion, a product champion who blogs and has a long following of, 500,000, a million, 60,000, whatever they've got in these different verticals. Send them one automatically and say, look, try this, and then if you like it, write about it, and then all of a sudden I think you'll have the following, you'll build from the ground up, and you'll have the cash flow to support the growth of the business. Because honestly, I'm the type of guy that, I go all in first, and this one I'm not jumping out of my seat at, just for whatever reason. However, I think that you could, get each of these niche markets to blend if you find the right product champion in each one. And it could be two, if there's a bigger category, but like the dog walking community, how many dog walkers are there? I think you could do something like that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, advice?
Two questions. One, from a price point standpoint, how does it compare to other cases that claim, functionality similar to this? Just a question, not necessarily to answer, but just to be thinking about. And then, have you thought about partnering with local companies based in that market, i.e. Overton's or Performance Bike? Because, I think it'd be interesting if they could put your product somehow in their stores. You have a huge, and it's a local company, so you have huge potential, I think, to get some recognition that way.
Yeah, thank you. Let me get those down at the end.
Thank you. But did we answer the question on the comparisons?
Did you answer the comparison between this and other products like it?
The other.
And just how it compares on price?
Yeah, I guess our price point that's fluctuating as we just kind of finish the design, but we've tried to be comparable to the Artibox and Life Proof that offer protection for those out on the trail. We're ski instructors in the wintertime, and I've used this attached to a harness that I cut to make it fit.
So we won't drop it from the chairlift.
Yeah, last thing I want to do. And we found phones under the chairlift. That's been fun.
So basically, our product, there's no really product like ours that offers that articulating ability with a clip attached to it. And there's several little functions that other products are out there, like a stand. They offer that. But with the versatility ours has, there's nothing like it. So we realize there's still competition, and people can just hold it in their hand and serve the same purpose if they want to. So that's what we're trying to deal with. Thank you.
Hi. Have you thought about possibly licensing the technology now to people like REI or people that already have all the manufacturing facilities for you, or do you want to be in the business long term of manufacturing this, selling it yourself?
We would love to license it. We've actually tried, which proved to be very difficult for us because we have an unproven product. So we were advised to actually get your product, get some validity, get some sales, and then when you approach for possible licensing, you're in a much better position and it's more likely to happen. So we would take an exit out to license because we don't feel like we have to grow this business. We're just excited to get it out there, and if we can license it, that'd be cool. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm looking at your PowerPoint. I was wondering how much you would be interested in using more video. To me, this product looks like you're selling not just a product, but an experience. So I think that if people see more video of what it really can do and how you can use it in a more video format where they can actually engage with it, I think it'd be something for your marketing that will be tremendous for you. That's something that you could sell to, like this man was saying over here, blogs and things like that. Because what you are selling is an experience. And I think that if you capture that, that's when you start to capture people with the product, especially this one, in those niche markets he was speaking about.
I think you're absolutely right, and I appreciate that response. Totally agree. It is something you need to see used and that can create an experience for somebody. I appreciate that.
All right. So sorry, I came in late to your meeting, but I've got a life-proof case, and this is like the third one I've had. I need these things because they protect my phone, but I've found that I've got to take the case off oftentimes so I can communicate to people. Mm-hmm. So how good is your case from a receptive, from sound and all that?
Actually, we're moving away from the case. Originally, we did have a case on it, so we did have a protective case similar to an OtterBox with drop protection. But we found that very difficult to create a business model that was advantageous to us monetarily. So we went away from that, and we don't have a case. We actually just have a clipping mechanism that will, an adapter that will clip onto your phone. So, if you did have a phone that you liked and that you could hear well on it, you could just attach this to it and then attach it to the base.
Or a particular case.
Yeah. Or even if you don't want a case on it, you could just attach this to your phone.
Doesn't interfere with your functionality?
No, not really. No, not at all, actually.
Maybe I missed it, but have you guys looked into doing some type of pre-launch project, like a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo?
Yes, actually, we did do a Kickstarter launch, and we did not make it. We did not make our goal. We went in very naively, I guess you could say. Our goal was too high. Our prototype was actually prior to this one. It was really big, clunky, and ugly. So, we've discussed doing it again in a more knowledgeable way, and so that still is possible an option for us.
What was your goal?
Oh, I think it was 125 or something. It was way too high.
Another question. Have you considered following GoPro and doing what they do, seeing that you're trying to go for a similar market? Maybe follow their advertising. Where are they connected? Who are they connected with? And who's talking about GoPros?
Great idea. We've not done the total following of them, but we totally agree that is something that we should engage with because, we're trying to take GoPro's customers.
Having lived with OtterBoxes because of my fumble fingers, I really do appreciate the idea behind your product. I sympathize and empathize with the fact that sometimes you have to take it out of the case to be able to get at things. But by the same token, you said you had an OtterBox on yours, so phone protection I think is pretty critical, and people will willingly spend $75 for something if they can protect a $700 or $800 phone. So one of the other issues that I think you need to make sure you can address is that by using your device, which hangs it off a strap or whatever, that you're not exposing the phone more to being damaged, So I like the video idea because I think that's a great idea in terms of hopefully overcoming those objections, those kinds of things. Second part of what I wanted to share and ask more than anything else, a rhetorical question. You've got a product, you're passionate about it. If you want to create more products of a similar type in the future, this is the beginning of your entrepreneurial phase of your lives, then starting a company, getting a CEO, and those kinds of things, I think, are well worth considering. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. I do fractional C-level work. But I also have to ask you the question that I would ask you even if I sat down and had a cup of coffee with you, which is, do you want to get into the entrepreneurial, inventive space? And is that your passion, or is this a one-off? And so I'd be curious to know, is this the beginning of many inventions, contraptions, et cetera, or was this just kind of a passion that you happened across?
Personally, I think it's awesome to be an entrepreneur, even though I'm that emotional person. I have like 10 other ideas in my head, but I can't go onto those yet. This product, we do have a passion for it, and we want to get it out there. As far as taking it all the way to the end, that's not something we have to do, because I would be interested in licensing as well. But we have a couple other models just with this one. I mean, that's just like step one. And I see us continuing until we find that success in whatever way we may get it. So, I mean, I couldn't sit and I have to be out and do something. I couldn't do any other job.
I think that if it scales like we would like it to, and that's a big question, but we have more IP behind this that we really don't want to discuss here. We don't have time to discuss it here, but it's not just the case. It adds to the case. So if we find the skill set we need to do the parts that we are not strong in, I think Judi and I would have a function in part of the social media, the strategy and the story, and working in the disabled community where we can go to ski areas and where we can go to hiking areas. And that would be our fit where we fill that function. That's what I see in the future. And then the real scary stuff with the money and the scaling and those kind of decisions, we maybe be a small part of them and help with what we think, but it would take the emotion out of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Hi, I really like this idea. I'm a hiker. I always take my dog with me, so having something to like hook on would be great. My boyfriend does the YouTube blogging and all of that, so he would love to have something like that with his phone as well. But my question is there a material that you plan on making this that's extremely durable? Like with all the clips and stuff on it, I worry that like it would break, and spending that much money, especially me, I'm younger. I would want some kind of like guarantee, like life-proof and OtterBox, because if it breaks, it's gonna replace it.
We definitely want to have a guarantee, whether it's a year or lifetime, like life-proof, but a guarantee, absolutely. And we would make it out of a strong polycarbonate such as the OtterBox and life-proof that are out there. So it would be comparable to its durability and strength.
Hi, I have a question. You said it's $75. Who does your manufacturing? Do you use a contract manufacturer to design and all that stuff? And what for molding and all?
We would use a contract manufacturer, yes. We actually subbed out the CAD design, and so the price point is negotiable at this time because we are fixing the base. What was the other question?
I mean, your profit margin, I'm just curious. I know you're not going to share with us, but I think to me it's way too high. You know, because I've been going through all the cases similar to yours. It's way too high.
Okay, I appreciate
and
your response.
you guys, if you need that, there's a University of Greensboro. There's a professor who is a manufacturer who does molding, 3D molding in Greensboro, and I can give you contact, and he doesn't charge that much. You guys might want to look into your pricing. Your pricing is way too high, and some of these kids cannot afford it. You know what I'm saying? And one other thing, when you're hiking, my problem when I'm hiking, I was in Colorado, my phone goes off. You know what I'm saying? I cannot get the signal. That's the most important thing we've had. You know what I'm saying? We cannot have the signal. You might want to look to add that to your device and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to get the contact information at the end. And a lot of things we've noticed with the backpackers is they actually do all the downloading of their maps prior. because they do have intermittent signal, but they also need it for emergency contacts, which the radio frequency allow you to get emergency contacts if there is an emergency with your phone, even though you don't have signal. So it's something that we're still learning about.
And if I may add, and regarding price, we've had people that they want quality, and they're willing to pay a quality price. So we're just trying to do a balancing act right now, and then when we get the professional help we need, we'll decide on that. Thank you, Carol.
Cool. So I moved here about a year ago from Colorado, from Steamboat Springs, ski area, the whole deal.
Sweet.
I actually have one of your competitors that is it's called Quad Lock, that actually attaches to a bike. It attaches to any of my gear. It attaches when I run. It does all of those things, and it is a case all at once, but I have to buy all the peripherals. The case, $65 each peripheral. Thing that it attaches to, whether it's in the car or anywhere else, is between $30 and $45. So the price point is not off if you do it right.
Okay.
And so the value in it is, for me, I was able to ride bikes with it. It attaches even on a road bike or on a mountain bike, doesn't come off, doesn't do that. But their case, theirs is set up for that, and they do have a lifetime warranty for if something comes off or if something breaks. So I think your price point's actually on. But when we were talking about video here, when I pull up Quad Lock's website compared to your website, Quad Lock is all video. The whole thing shows usage in every single way of using it, which makes it really simple to buy it, versus your site that has one picture and no content within it. So that makes it kind of hard to compare the two and to want to spend money on that when this is available.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Sorry, me again.
No, you're fine.
The one thing I see here is that explaining what your features are is sporadic. So when you have something that's a case that you're charging $75 for, which is not a bad price point, you really need to explain the benefit. The benefit, you're selling to the REI people of the world. You're selling to that. And I think if you recognize who your actual customer base is, I don't think that's clear. I think you're passionate about the disabled veterans. They hike too. They have money too. They spend money too. So you need to be explaining what is the benefit of using that in these type of settings. You could even sell those pieces differently, because as you can see through some more market research that I think will be beneficial, you can see that people are ready to spend that type of money. So I just think when you go out, when you start to look at the market more about what people are spending on those type of things and to see how they're using it, I think that this could be a great thing that people would want to buy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. Listen, just extending the comment about video and lifestyle, what you're really doing is you're selling to some people a means to recapture a lifestyle that they had previously had. And so I think that you're right to just ignore the price point for now and focus on the marketing that is very video enabling. And then the price point will take care of itself. And going back to Casey's point as well.
Thank you.
I'm going to add on the video piece. You do need to get your product out there from a marketing point of view. Leverage churches, leverage other areas, get the product into the folks' hands. Let them provide videos for you, and you can even do it yourself too. But get experience on there, and then market it in there, and I think you'll sell to those regions. But you got to get that out. It's not going to go with static. I kind of agree with that, of what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I just have a somewhat controversial question. Have you thought about marketing this perhaps to law enforcement? So we have, and I haven't kept up on this in the media, and I apologize, but there seems to be a lot of information about, this law enforcement individual was not wearing an on-person camera while this arrest was being made, etc. and then the police department's argument is like, oh, those things are so expensive, et cetera. But literally every law enforcement individual has some type of cell phone, that type of thing. So now you've got this device that's actively recording while this individual is making an arrest or having some type of interaction, et cetera.
She handed it to me. Wow. It sounds like maybe a strategic partnership, and that's what we're looking for. Someone, and maybe the strategic person is standing right here. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm going to be doing that. But right now we're taking one step at a time, and we have thought that very same idea. Thank you. And I was in Whole Foods one night, and this lady saw me, my Twistek hat and everything in it. And anyway, so she was just overwhelmed by this. She was just freaking out about it. And these police officers walked in, and I was leaving. She started screaming about it to them, and they talked to me right here in Durham. And they all three loved it. One of them emailed us the next day, says, "I'll pay you $150 for it." Mm-hmm. And so I think that there's real truth to that. Thank you.
The body camera market, I heard that the place where they're making money is on the back end and the actual storage of the video data and ongoing access to that storage. So there's another market here, I think, in terms of the actual apps that you have that might go along with something like this, or the storage or the back end kind of part too. If you're taking video on hiking trails, that just takes up a lot of space.
Thank you.
I was going to say on that note, it's kind of like you want to be Taser, right? Everybody knows Taser name. That's a brand name. There's other devices like that, but they connected with the police departments. They gave them away for free. And I think that's what she was kind of going with there too. So imagine being Twistek and it's just all advertising and marketing, and then you're getting your sales out to everybody else and you don't have to do any marketing. So all these adventure people and people on gun ranges and everything like that would know your name.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, both of you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Now we have some time for